believe it or not, as daring as it may seem, it is not an empty dream to walk in a powerful path. Neither the first nor the last great peace march. Life is a great and mighty march, forever for love and for life on the great peace march.
What really drew me in to the network is that it's run by the grassroots. It's run by the people. And to be a part of a network that encourages people, you know, working, to encourage citizens to work from the ground up for a more peaceful and just and sustainable world is an excellent thing. What drew me into the peace movement writ large was post 9/11 and realizing the direction our country was headed, and I realized that I could stand up and I could speak my voice and I could make a difference, which helps me educate others on how they can develop those same skills and how they can go out in their communities and how they can benefit themselves. So I'm at the network, and what drew me there is to build a truly grassroots organization run by the people for a peaceful and just and sustainable future.
My role is Vice Chair of the Wisconsin Network for Peace and Justice. I was more or less radicalized through the Wisconsin Network for Peace and Justice and through Nuke Watch. I became involved through Bonnie Block in a officer kind of way, facilitating the membership assembly, our fall assembly we call it. And I came to the recognition of justice and peace permeating my life through my faith. And from there, my late husband and I agreed to care for a friend of ours, Helen Derry Woodson, agreed to care for her children when she went off to disarm a missile silo in Missouri.
I've been a board member for Wisconsin Network for Peace and Justice for the last few years, and first got involved with WNPJ because of my interest in diversity issues in general, and trying to find ways to deal with diversity across cultural divides, both in central Wisconsin and throughout the state. I got interested first and foremost in the anti-racism training that I saw that Wisconsin Network for Peace and Justice was providing for its own board members, and I valued what they were doing because I think that's a very, very important way for people to deeply understand issues that impact people of color, and for an organization to make that level of commitment is kind of unique. So I was impressed with the work that Wisconsin Network for Peace and Justice did from the very first I worked with them.
One of the decisions that was made early on was it wasn't just defined as the Wisconsin Network for Peace, but peace and justice. What does that extra dimension mean for you and the causes and the things that you care about?
Well, that tells me that there is a concern about all of the people on all levels of the society. And that it's really that the network really is a genuine network that is likely to actually move issues forward because it's concerned not just about one segment or another. So that too I thought was really powerful about the organization. So the organization was really attractive to me from the get-go. From the first I heard about it.
I originally got involved in the peace movement when Bush invaded Iraq. I just felt I ought to try to do something about that. I just found it so disgusting. Then I eventually got into WNPJ, and so I've been a member for about 5 years, and I've gained a lot from the experience, and I've met a lot of good people, a lot of people involved in the same type of issues I'm involved in.
Why is it important for the coalition not to be just the usual suspects, perhaps, from Milwaukee and Madison, but to be truly statewide?
the M&M syndrome, as they're known around the state. I
That's it.
discovered Madison, Milwaukee. Oh yes, we do need to move beyond that one. When I found out that there were small groups of people standing on the intersection of, say, County Y and County B up in some little, outside of some little burg way up in northern Wisconsin every Saturday, all year round in the middle of winter blizzards, I was pretty amazed. I think that small town Wisconsin is so essential to this movement. I was raised in small town Wisconsin. I was from East Troy when I was growing up. And I know it was basically a conservative community politically. And for me to be working in a small community like that at this point in my life would be very difficult. It takes a lot more courage for people to stand out on the street corners in a small town and speak out for what they believe in and hold that peace sign than it does for someone in Milwaukee or Madison. I just have so much respect for these people. And I always tell them that whenever I have the chance. We all need each other, and they couldn't do it alone without this network. They just couldn't. It would be it would be too frightening. But together, we can do this. So we need this statewide solidarity to support each other in our work.
Anyone else want to comment?
Well, and I think that courage that it takes for someone to do these actions where everybody knows who you are is something that we all ought to take on. I mean, I talk a lot about being an opinion leader. I think it is really important to speak out and not let yourself be silenced, because once people hear something being said publicly, it makes it okay for them to say it too. And it also is, again, it gives lie to the idea that, oh, nobody thinks this. Everybody thinks that going to war to solve conflicts is a good idea. And that really is something we need in every place. And I think sometimes our families and our little small communities we're part of really are the places it might be hardest but the most important to speak up and to say why it is we're doing what we're doing and how important it is that we bring about the changes.
I think about several days last summer, so in the 19th year of the history of WMPJ, when we did a peace walk, which had been a tradition over many years, and for 3 days between the commemoration of the day that the U.S. bombed Hiroshima and the day that the U.S. bombed Nagasaki, we walked from Camp Williams to Fort McCoy, and walking along that road 7 to 10 miles a day with a group of between 50 and 100 people, some local people joining us and some people from around the state, some people from Chicago. What an incredible experience. Many service personnel, service women and men going by in cars gave us thumbs up and peace signs, and very little, very few encounters that were not positive and supportive of what we were doing. And so again, every time that we can manifest the anti-war sentiment and the pro-justice sentiment and the anti-global warming and the many issues that we work on and that intersect, we make it more possible for other people to do the same.